We've all been there. You love the game, you love the players, but sometimes there's just no creativity left, no motivation to get that game going. Let's talk about GM burnout and what to do about it. So here are some symptoms of burnout. I feel like if you're feeling any of these things, you are probably burnt out. Prep just doesn't feel fun anymore or feels more like a job or a chore. You're just expecting players to be completely disappointed in what you're doing. And maybe you even feel like your best ideas are already used up. You start to envy being a player more than usual. Or worse, you're very frustrated with your players. You're frequently postponing or canceling sessions. For me personally, when I start to feel burnt out, I feel like session prep is a hindrance. It's just another chore. It's too much work, too much on my already full plate. I pretty much lose all motivation to do it, but I also know that this is not my norm. I love GMing, I love playing and seeing the reaction on my players' faces or getting them to do cool things at the table. So I know that when I'm starting to feel this way and I'm starting to hate prep work or start dreading the game, that this is not the norm and I'm probably burnt out. Obviously, not everybody loves session prep, so you'll have to really be in tune with yourself to know what you like and dislike about being a DM in order to know for sure when you are reaching burnout and when you're just, tired. Here are some things that I find have helped me, as well as some things I've found others say that helps them. The first thing you need to do is remember that being a DM is super hard. It is one of the reasons why there are not that many DMs and there is a shortage of DMs, because you have to do so much work. So the fact that you're even doing this is good on you. I'm still encouraging you to do it, but it shouldn't be a chore. It should be fun. So the first thing you need to do is just take a pause. Perfectly fine not to want to GM right now. In fact, it's pretty normal to go through stages of burnout. But don't continue to feel negatively or guilty about not DMing. The negativity that you accrue from that will start to build up and it'll actually make you feel worse, and then maybe never sit in the DM chair again. It's important to remember this is normal. It's perfectly fine, and you can get back to it eventually. It doesn't have to be right away. The second thing you need to do is to talk to your players. It's surprising to me how many people just let the game fizzle out without ever talking to their players, because players may be able to help you, whether that is running a game for you or, helping lessen the load as a DM. They're your friends, hopefully, so they will be able to, assist you and help you beat burnout. Plus, chances are if you're feeling burnt out, they might be feeling burnt out too and might need a change as well. The next thing that you need to do kind of depends on what is causing you to burn out. So I'm gonna go over some of the key things. If you have suggestions or have been burnt out yourself and would like to drop some of your things down below in the comments to help other GMs, please do that. But here are some more common things I think people run into. I think the biggest and easiest thing to do is to just take a break, whether that is a month break or 6-month break. That is 100% up to you, because remember, it's a game and everybody's here to have fun, but if the GM is not having fun, probably no one else at the table is having fun either. This leads though to the fear of canceling and fizzling out the campaign forever. So if you're afraid of doing that, I would actually suggest that you put an end date to your break. Set a date in a couple months from now to pick up your campaign. Alternatively, you can keep the same date as just a game night, whether that's for other players to run games in your stead, or you just play other tabletop games like Catan. This will keep that on the schedule regularly so that your players and you don't replace it with something else. You could also change things up and just run one-shots in the same day and time. I find that sometimes I need a break from the normal campaign, and I love running one-shots. We've got a whole stream about it. Your players will also get to try new characters and see a new adventure. This can also help spur creativity for your regular campaign as you find something completely different that your players might be into. Alternatively, if the session prep work is what is really bothering you, and that's the thing that's the most daunting, you can lessen the load. So not only could you run one-shots that are already prepared for you, they even have Foundry modules out there that are already prepped for you. Instead, you could pull from modules. So if you have a homebrew campaign, you can start pulling, short dungeon crawls from Tomb of Annihilation or Curse of Strahd and drop those into your homebrew campaign with very minimal work. Maybe you change the names, maybe you don't. Although if you use the name Strahd, I think everybody would know. But there's plenty of other content online that can help supplement your campaign that you don't have to come up with. That can also help spur that creativity back. You really don't have to create everything by yourself, but also, if you've thought of it, someone on the internet probably has stat block for it. Another way to help beat burnout is to change your schedule. Lower the frequency of your game. Instead of every week, go every 2 weeks, or once a month, or once every other month. I would hesitate to spread it out too much because your players will forget, but even if you spread it out a little bit just for the time being until you get back on your feet, that's also perfectly fine. Also consider the length of your sessions. Are they going 5, 6, 7, 8 hours long? That's probably too much. I prefer things that are anywhere between 2 and 3 hours. I tend to have sessions last about 4, but as a DM, I noticed that after that 3-hour mark, my DMing abilities plummet. You'll have to figure out what kind of works for you. Finally, and here's the big one, look at stressors that are outside of the game table. I can't necessarily help you with these, obviously, but I find for me, when I tend to be hitting burnout, it's normally because I have a lot of other things going on in my plate. I own my own business. I am now a new mom. I run campaigns and do streaming. I run this YouTube channel. I have a Discord community that I try to keep up with. I've got a lot of things on my plate, and I know that when those things start to pile up, like when I went to a con and had to do a lot of work for convention inventory, as well as prepping to take new stuff to the con, I got stressed out, and that definitely contributes to burnout. So figure out what other stressors in your life are happening that might be influencing how you feel about D&D right now, and then try to address those issues. I took a week off, but take some time off of work. I feel like if you can't take a day off of work, if their entire business will collapse without you taking off a couple days, you'll probably need a new job because that place should not be relying on anybody 100% like that. For me, I take time off of work, or I pause video updates, which is the #1 thing that goes. Sorry guys. You can postpone family gatherings or friendship gatherings. You can have someone watch the kids. Anything. And then be sure to practice some self-care, like do some things that you actually want to do, not what you have to do. And this is a regular struggle for me. Sure, you could clean the house, or you could take some time and watch your favorite show, or read a book, or, for me, it's play Minecraft or video games for ungodly amounts of time. Find something that helps you relax, that can, make you feel a little bit better, and then knock out some other things. Or you could do what I do sometimes and knock out all those easy things, and then you have less of a to-do list, and you have much easier time and a less stressful time when it comes to relaxing. For me, if my to-do list is this long and I decide I don't want to do all of that and I need to take a break, it turns out that I end up being more anxious. I tend to cut the list down, do all the easy things that don't involve like a lot of thinking. For instance, do the dishes or run a load of laundry or whatever, and then I'll sit down, play some games, do something else, and take care of me. So you kind of have to figure out what works best for you, but I hope that these are giving you some ideas and that you make it through the GM burnout and don't hate GMing or DMing forever. I made this video because there was a lot of talk about GM burnout in my Discord community a few weeks back, and I figured that this might be helpful for them, and I hope that it is helpful for you if you are going through burnout or you think you're on the verge of burnout, which, by the way, if you think you're on the verge of burnout, you should stop now, or you'll end up like me and I'm like, oh, I feel like I might be burning out, and then I work more and harder and then I burn out. So be kind to yourself, because the only person who can care for you is yourself. I hope that things go well for you, and if you need someone to talk to, come join my Discord channel. We have plenty of DMs that'll help you feel a little bit better about burnout. But also I'm there so I can talk to you, because sometimes that's also something you need, is just get that out there so you can get through what you need. Also, good luck. I hope that you don't hate DMing. I hope you come back and join us, because you are definitely the MVP, so the game doesn't run without you. That's good. Good enough.